My theory is that the self does not advance through time. Time advances through self. So that means time would be the procession, and we are the axis of experience through which it performs. We do not move in time, but time moves through us from this perspective. Seemingly, consciousness does not have a physical location, at least not one that we understand. So, harmoniously, consciousness would not obey physical limits, of course. We can remember the past, project into the future. We can imagine a world that doesn't exist or create an entire story that never even happened, all instantaneously without traveling anywhere. Logically, this insight gestures an underlying law of reality. Consciousness may be the singular essence capable of existing beyond the lattice of time and space. It suggests that a principle that consciousness alone may transcend and permeate the spatial temporal order rather than being contained by it, which profoundly implies that consciousness is not a consequence of cosmic structure but an antecedent reality existing outside its confines, meaning the universe didn't create consciousness. It might be the other way around. And even if that's not true, consciousness seems to be something that is not an after effect of the creation of the cosmic structure, if that makes sense. It was there before, it's antecedent. The body obeys the architecture of physics. The awareness, however, seems to live beyond that jurisdiction. The body will die, of course, however, consciousness may transition into another mode of being. No scientist has ever found consciousness inside a brain scan. They find neural activity, electricity, chemicals, but not the you that is aware of them. The brain might be the receiver, not the source. Like a radio does not create the signal, it just tunes it to the correct or wanted frequency that's already present. The brain may function not as a creator of consciousness, but as the instrument that receives and interprets it. Everything in existence vibrates. Atoms, thoughts, emotions, even the subtle patterns of awareness. And consciousness may be a field, not a product. A field permeating reality, accessible only when a living system is tuned to the right resonance. Putting the phrase, we are all connected, into retrospection, each person then is not a sealed mind, but a different tuning of the same underlying signal. Different nervous systems, different experiences, different levels of awareness, all of them shifting the dial. Some may only tune into the dense physical frequencies. Some glimpse higher ones like intuition, insight, the feeling of something beyond. Some may become static, others gain clarity. Perhaps that's why consciousness cannot be found inside the brain the way electricity or tissue can. A radio circuitry contains no trace of the song it plays. That melody belongs to the field. The device merely gives it shape. If consciousness is the signal and the body is the receiver, then all humans share the same fundamental broadcast. We differ not in essence, but in frequency and how our awareness is aligned and how much of the spectrum we can perceive. We are connected at the source, yet appear separate only because each of us are tuned slightly to a different band of the same cosmic transmission. In this sense, individuality may be nothing more than the particular frequency your awareness is tuned to, if that makes sense. Reality of this then is the recognition that the signal itself never really belonged to you as a person, but in a sense, to everything, to the field you, it came from. If this is the case, then the physics of consciousness are not the same as the physics of matter. It is a different kind of structure, one that doesn't depend on the laws of space, distance, or time. That's why when people meditate deeply, lose their sense of self, or enter a flow state, they all describe the same experience. Time stops, the body disappears, there is only awareness. This suggests that consciousness doesn't live inside time. It uses time as a tool, but its true nature might exist in a dimension where before and after mean absolutely nothing. And if this is true, then it brings me back to the initial question of who are we really? Are we the physical machines running chemical programs, or the awareness watching the programs run? If the body is the robot, then consciousness is the observer behind its eyes. And that's where the real mystery begins.